Thanks for clicking on Just Beast Fitness. I'm your trainer Jasper Bravo. On today's video, we are training biceps. We are going heavy biceps today, which means we're going for super heavy weights for low reps. And yeah, so it's a workout that is going to be quite a tough one. But as always, getting failure with the heavy weights are always easier as compared to getting to failure with the lightweight. So at least there's a little bit of an advantage, apart from the fact that it's super taxing to the body. I can say that it's not that difficult training using heavy weights, because when you train using heavy weights, you find it easier even recognizing when you get to failure, because sometimes you work hard and you think you're working hard, and yet you're not working hard enough as far as how far you are from failure is concerned. Some people stop super far from failure and they think that they are in a good position, or they think that they are close enough to failure, and yet they aren't. And that's a mistake that you can easily make when you are using super lightweight, but it's not as common when you're using the heavyweights. So there's an advantage, a disadvantage for that. So right now we are going through our poses just to check on the progress and how far we've been going with this bulk. And as you can see, it's not bad. We can still see the striations and the divisions of the muscles, which means we are still super lean right now, but which is not a bad thing when we are on a bulk. We want to bulk, but we don't want to get fat. And how can we do that? We have to continuously check and track and see the progress so that we don't lose it, because it's very common to do that. You can bulk and bulk and bulk and get carried away until you become fat, and we just don't want that. So so we have to check and see. You can see the shoulders are very well grown right now. They pop so awesomely. You can see the chest too. You can see generally we are having an awesome physique. It's a physique that we are proud of. It's been a while working on this, and we thank God. So we're starting the first workout. This is the bar curls. We're using 20 kgs on the bar, making it 40 kilograms, and we're just making sure that we control the weight, because there's always a common mistake, especially when you're using weight that is too heavy. I usually tell you continuously on this channel that you need to control your weights, and people can think that I just mean that when I'm talking about using the lightweight, but not really. Even when you're using the heavy weights, you have to do your best to make sure that you control the weights as much as you can, because that's one of the ways you can deposit more into your account of building your muscles. You want to try and build or deposit in that account as much as you can, and any little thing that can give you some improvement, of course we don't want to leave it out on the table. So when we come to such kind of a workout, you can see that the first set I did the strict reps. Then when I was just getting to failure, I did the cheat reps. I'm just doing that to get as close as possible to failure, or even beyond failure. And I get that by sometimes you do the drop sets, sometimes you do the myo reps, and also sometimes you can do the cheat reps at the end. That means you do your strict reps to failure, to when you can't do them anymore. Then you don't put the bar down yet. You go back, you repeat, but now with a cheated reps. Now that will make it for our second set of this workout, and we're feeling already starting to feel pumped. But now there's a problem also with going super heavy. Super heavy is because when you go super heavy, normally you find that the pump takes long to kick in. I don't know if this just happens to me, but this is usually so common. Like when I'm just done with the heavies, I can take long before I start feeling like the pump. So we go direct to preacher after doing the standing bar curls. We go direct to preacher curls, and also here we'll try to load the weight heavy enough and not too heavy, because sometimes you can find somebody loading it heavy to an extent that you can only go for 1 or 2 reps, and that is just not good enough for hypertrophy. I'd rather even if you're going for a heavy day, try and get it to a weight that you can at least get to I always recommend at least 6 reps. The people will argue that 5 reps, according to science, of course, even 5 reps are good enough. But actually, just advise 6, 8 there on the minimum. Also, to reduce your chances of getting injured, because when you use super heavy weights, you can easily get injured. And that also gets me to the first point that I'll let you guys know, is that anytime you use the heavy weights and then you use the momentum, no, that is double trouble. That is 2 causes for failure. You can easily hurt yourself. So anytime you're doing this and you want to reduce your chances of getting hurt, do your best to control the weight. Just that. Do your best to control the weight, and that will drastically decrease your chances of getting hurt. And that's not what you don't want, because guess what, you can only get gains when you're in the gym, when you're working out. And when you get hurt, you cannot come to the gym and you won't be making the gains, and you know what that leads to. So after the pressure curls, those 2 sets, we're going direct to close grip reverse grip lat pull down. And this one is surely awesome for the dumbbell, for the biceps. And in this place, I just noticed that I wasn't getting comfortable enough, so I decided to add that dumbbell there just to give me that stability. And now we are good to go. We just pull the weights high, low enough. And the idea is always to try, when you're doing this workout, normally when you're doing it for the lats, the idea is to try and bring your elbows all the way to your rib cage. But now when you're doing it for the biceps, your idea that you should be having in your mind is trying to bring your wrist to touch your shoulders. So I hope you get that in mind anytime when you're doing this, if you want to concentrate on the biceps, because there's people who will be wondering, and this workout for back, yes, it is if you do it in a certain way. That is, if you try to bring your elbows to your rib cage, and also when you concentrate on engaging the lats, and when you keep it a little bit wider, it will concentrate on the lats. But when you keep it this close and you put the grip reversed, that's what's up. Then you go direct to the dumbbells 21s, and today we are starting with the upper part. Now you do the upper part, you do those 7 reps. And personally, I'm not going for 7 reps. I usually like doing 10 reps. So you do 10 on the upper part, then 10 on the full part, then 10 on the lower part. But the lower part, we make it hammer curls, as you can see. So now, right now we are doing the 10s for the full curls. And as you can notice that I try to flare the shoulders out and open my arms outside, towards outside of my body or my torso. And the reason for that is to make sure that I hit the inner part of the biceps too with this same workout. Then I finished up with the lower part, and the lower part, as you can see, I use the hammer curls. This is just making sure that I bring a little bit of interest and variety to this workout to make it more interesting, you see. So that more variety always makes stuff interesting. So I'm supersetting the 2. When I stop that, I go directly to close grip reverse grip chin-ups. And also this one is, we go with the same technique and the same idea which we were doing with the close grip pull down. That is, you try to bring your wrist to your shoulders. After that, we go to the second set. After a few minutes, that is 1 to 2 minutes of rest, we went to the second set of the same 21s. And as you can see, we start with the top part, because it's usually one of the most difficult parts. Then we go to the full range of motion part, which is also a super difficult part. And as you can see, we flare and open the arms out away from the body just to hit that inner part of the biceps. And then after we are done with those 10 reps, which you can notice that are not easy because we're getting exhausted already, the biceps are feeling cooked, we go direct to the hammer curls, but the lower part of the biceps, no complete reps. And somebody will be seeing this and wondering, how comes you're doing the hammer curls partials? And I want to tell you that that's why it's 21s. You should try on the upper part, then you do the full range, then you do the partials. Or you can start with the partials, the upper part, then the full range. However you used to doing it, as long as it works for you. Then we rest for a few seconds, of course. Then we go to another set of these. And this one, of course, we superset the chin-ups with the 21s. And that makes it for that set. And now it's time to check the pump how the peak of the biceps have been pumped right now, and as you can see, it's looking epic and we're loving it. You can see that. And yeah, it's not the lighting is not as good as at the beginning, but I hope you guys can see that that pump that is on the peak of the biceps. And yeah, you can also see how the shoulders are looking right now. Very nice. Now this is the physique progress so far, and you guys can always feel free to let me know of what you think about how our physique is doing so far. You can always let me know of what you think. Sometimes I could be biased because I always look at myself and I'm like, this is some awesome crazy progress, this is some awesome growth, and maybe sometimes I'm just fooling myself, and just to have you guys critique me, I don't mind, so you can let me know what you think about the physique so far, how on the progress we've been making on this year of bulk. You can always let me know what you think, even on the posing routine. If am I really getting better with my posing, or am I getting worse? Because you never know. Or am I just not making any progress with my posing? So yeah, that is the side double side chest. And yeah, also we have to check on the back a little bit to see on the progress how it's doing. And yeah, so I just want you also guys to know that all this stuff don't come easy, by the way. Neither do they come. Okay, it's not difficult to have such a body. It's very simple, but it's not easy to. The only thing you need to do is just keep doing it, and don't. In fact, the idea I usually tell people that I usually hear people asking me all the time that how long will it take me to have a physique as yours, or a physique that is good enough? And I think that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong question, asking for the right answer. The question I'll always ask you guys to ask is, how much do I need to continue doing this for me to be addicted to it to a level that I can't stop doing it? Because that's the only guarantee you can have for having such, or the body that you want. Because however good the body you want, you'll get, if you're not consistent, or if you're not addicted to it, along the way they'll get to a time when you'll stop doing it. And anytime you stop doing it, you lose it all, because that's how it is. If you start doing this and you start gaining, it has to be for life. So you should just ask yourself is, what can I do? How can I make it more interesting so that it can be addictive? How can I make it as easy as possible? How can I reduce as much friction as possible so that I'm able to do it in this life as long as I can, or as close to my death as I can? Because if you can really do that, you can get the gains. Let me see you in the next one.